Picture a man who walks into a room and, without a word, shifts its gravity. He doesn't shout, doesn't perform, yet every eye turns his way. That man is you, or he can be. This is the hidden power of Sigma charisma, and you're about to unlock it. Welcome to the Sigma male community, the brotherhood for men who forge their own path, who embody quiet strength and unyielding independence. Today we're diving deep into the 11 traits of Sigma male charisma, qualities you already possess but may not yet fully wield. Rooted in Stoic wisdom, these traits aren't about flashy charm or loud dominance. They're about mastering yourself so completely that the world can't help but take notice. Let's strip away the noise and uncover the magnetic force within you, because true power doesn't beg for attention. It commands it effortlessly. 1. The silent gravitational pull. Charisma isn't about being the loudest or the most visible. It's about presence so undeniable it pulls others in like a force of nature. Most men exhaust themselves chasing attention, filling every silence with noise, every moment with performance. You, the Sigma male, operate differently. Your strength lies in your restraint, a quiet confidence that radiates without effort. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we control, our thoughts, our actions, and let the rest fall away. When you stand firm in your own energy, grounded in purpose, people feel it. They don't just notice you, they orbit you, drawn to a depth they can't quite name. This pull comes from authenticity, not theatrics. Imagine a tense meeting where everyone's vying for control, voices overlapping in a desperate bid to be heard. You lean back, observing, your silence heavier than their words. When you finally speak, a single deliberate sentence, the room shifts. What? Because your restraint amplifies your impact. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius knew that true power lies in self-mastery, not external validation. Your measured words, your steady gaze, your unhurried movements, they carry weight because they're intentional. You don't need to demand attention, your presence does that for you. This isn't about being distant or aloof, it's about being whole. Most men fragment themselves, bending to fit the expectations of every room. You're complete, unapologetically yourself, and that completeness is magnetic. Picture a bar where others are loud, performative, chasing laughs. You're there, calm, engaged on your terms. Someone asks your opinion and your response, brief, thoughtful, direct, lands like a stone in still water rippling outward. Stoicism's call to live virtuously gives you this edge. You don't need approval, so you don't chase it. That freedom draws people in not because you tried but because you didn't. To harness this, practice presence. Enter every space with intention, not to impress but to be. Speak less but make every word count. Train yourself to pause, to observe, to let others fill the silence. The Sigma male's charisma isn't in what you do, it's in what you don't. By focusing on your inner strength, as Stoicism demands, you create a gravitational pull that's impossible to ignore. Let the world come to you and it will. 2. The art of controlled mystery. People crave what they can't fully understand. The Sigma male wields this truth like a blade, revealing just enough to spark intrigue but never enough to be fully known. While others overshare, desperate to be seen, you hold back, letting curiosity do the work. Stoicism teaches us to guard our inner world, to share only what aligns with our purpose. Your half-smile, your vague but intriguing answers, they're not games, they're discipline. By controlling what you reveal, you control the narrative others build around you. This mystery thrives in the pause. Imagine a conversation where someone probes into your life, your plans, your past, your thoughts. Most men rush to explain, to fill the silence with details. You deflect with a question, offer a glimpse, then let the silence linger. They're hooked, not because you manipulated them but because you gave them a puzzle. Stoics like Seneca emphasize the value of restraint, of protecting your energy. Your selectivity, choosing who gets access to your inner world, makes your presence rare, valuable, a prize others chase without knowing why. This approach flips the dynamic. In a world of constant oversharing, social media feeds flooded with every thought and feeling, your restraint stands out. Picture a friend group debating a hot topic. Everyone's shouting their stance, desperate to be heard. You listen, nod, offer a single, ambiguous comment that leaves them guessing. They'll spend the rest of the night wondering what you really think, and that wonder keeps you in their minds. Stoicism's focus on inner clarity over external validation gives you this power. You don't need to explain yourself. You let others project, and their projections are always more compelling than words. To master this, practice selective disclosure. When asked about yourself, share a fragment, then redirect. Let silence be your ally. Train yourself to enjoy the tension of others' curiosity. The Sigma male knows his thoughts are currency, not to be spent lightly. By keeping parts of yourself hidden, as Stoicism advises, you create a magnetic pull that draws others in. They'll work to earn your trust, and in that work you've already won. 3. The Unshakable Inner Code. The world shifts, trends fade, opinions clash, expectations change. Most men bend to fit in, reshaping themselves to match the moment. You stand firm, anchored by an inner code no external force can break. This isn't stubbornness, it's sovereignty. Stoicism teaches us to define our virtues, courage, wisdom, integrity, and live by them relentlessly. Your principles are your compass, guiding every choice, every word, every step. That certainty, that refusal to waver, is what makes you magnetic in a world of shifting sands. This code isn't loud or performative. It's not a slogan or a social media rant. It's the quiet conviction that shapes how you move through life. Picture a workplace where everyone's chasing approval, playing politics, compromising their values. You focus on your work, your growth, your truth. When you speak, it's not to impress, it's to align with what you know is right. Stoics like Epictetus remind us that we control only our actions, not others' opinions. Your code, built on self-mastery and rational thought, commands respect because it's unshakable, not because you demand it. This certainty creates a ripple effect. When you live by your principles, you don't need to announce them. Others feel it. Imagine a heated debate where everyone's trying to win. You don't raise your voice or argue for clout. You state your truth, calm and clear, then let it stand. People pause. They listen. What? Because your conviction is a rare force in a world of waffling. Stoicism's emphasis on living virtuously, regardless of outcome, gives you this power. You're not here to be liked, you're here to be respected, and that respect comes from a code that never bends. To build this, define your core values. Write them down: honesty, discipline, independence, and test every decision against them. Say no to what doesn't align even if it costs you. Walk away from battles that don't serve your purpose. The Sigma male's charisma lies in this clarity. You know who you are, and you live it unapologetically. Over time, that code becomes your armor, your strength, your pull. People will see it, feel it, and follow it because a man with an unshakable core is a man who leads without trying. 4. The strategic disappearance. In a world obsessed with being seen, the Sigma male does the unthinkable. He vanishes. Not out of fear but as a deliberate act of power. Most men cling to visibility, terrified that absence will make them irrelevant. You know better, absence amplifies presence. Stoicism teaches us to value our own space, to retreat when it serves our purpose. By stepping back, whether from a conversation, a social circle, or the digital noise, you make your return an event, your presence a rarity that others crave. This disappearance is calculated, not random. Picture a man who's always available, always posting, always at every event. His presence becomes ordinary, expected, cheap. Now picture you, selective, intentional, appearing only when it matters. When you show up, people notice. They wonder where you've been, what you've been building. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius knew the power of stepping back to gain perspective. Your absence creates a vacuum, and human nature rushes to fill it with curiosity, respect, even awe. Scarcity breeds value, and you're the rarest kind. This approach demands discipline. The world screams for your attention. Notifications, obligations, demands. Most men give in, spreading themselves thin to stay relevant. You say no. You log off. You walk away. Imagine a friend group expecting you at every hangout. You decline, focusing on your goals, your growth. When you return, they don't resent you, they're intrigued, even relieved, because your presence feels earned. Stoicism's call to prioritize what's essential gives you this strength. You don't need to be everywhere, you need to be unforgettable when you're there. To master this, practice selective absence. Step away from spaces that drain you. Go silent on social media for a week, a month. Focus on what builds you, your work, your mind, your purpose. When you reappear, do it with impact. A project finished, a goal achieved, a presence that commands attention. The Sigma male's charisma lies in this balance. You're not always there, but when you are, no one forgets it. By disappearing strategically, you ensure your value is never diluted, and that's power in its purest form. 5. The unbothered observer. Chaos is everywhere, egos clashing, drama unfolding, voices fighting to be heard. Most men dive in, desperate to fix, to win, to be seen. You watch. Not passively, but with a clarity that cuts through the noise. The Sigma male's power lies in observation, not reaction. Stoicism teaches us to detach from what we can't control and focus on what we can, our perspective, our response. By staying unbothered, you see what others miss. The motives behind the words, the patterns in the chaos, the truth beneath the surface. This stance unsettles people. They'll call you cold, detached, even arrogant. Let them. Their labels reflect their own discomfort with silence. Picture a heated family argument, everyone shouting to be right. You sit back, listening, absorbing. When you finally speak, a single measured sentence, it shifts the room. What? Because you didn't react, you responded. Stoics like Epictetus remind us that we don't control others' actions, only our own. By observing, you conserve energy while others burn out, giving you the clearest view in the room. This clarity gives you leverage. When you watch instead of react, you learn who people are, their insecurities, their agendas, their truths. Imagine a workplace conflict, colleagues picking sides, tempers flaring. You stay neutral, observing. Later, you know who to trust, who to avoid, how to move forward. This isn't manipulation, it's intelligence. Stoicism's emphasis on rational thought lets you see the world as it is, not as others want you to see it. That perspective is magnetic. People sense it even if they can't name it. They're drawn to your calm, your insight, your control. To cultivate this, practice detachment. In chaotic moments, resist the urge to jump in. Ask, what's really happening here? What do I control? Train yourself to see patterns, to read motives, to wait for the right moment. The Sigma male's charisma isn't in being the loudest, it's in being the sharpest. By staying unbothered, you become the one who sees the room for what it is, and that clarity commands respect. In a world of noise, your silence is power. Sigma reality check. You're not here by accident. You felt it, called too quiet, too intense, too hard to read. That's not a flaw, it's your strength. The Sigma male community is your tribe, a place where men like you sharpen what sets you apart. You don't need to chase approval or fit in, you're here to master yourself, to live with purpose in a world of chaos. The traits we're uncovering aren't just skills, they're your birthright. Stay locked in. The next ones are where the alphas falter, but where you, the Sigma, shine. Keep watching, keep growing, and let's unleash the charisma that's already yours. 6. The emotional anchor. Most men are storms, reactive, volatile, swayed by every emotion. You're the eye of the hurricane, calm and steady while chaos swirls around you. This isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about mastering them. Stoicism teaches us that emotions are signals, not chains. You feel anger, joy, fear, but you choose when to act on them. That choice makes you a rock others cling to in turbulent times. Picture a crisis, friends panicking, colleagues unraveling. You stay grounded, your voice steady, your decisions clear. People don't just notice, they rely on you. This emotional mastery is about precision, not denial. Imagine a coworker trying to provoke you, throwing barbs to get a rise. Most men would snap back, escalating the fight. You pause, assess, respond with a calm that disarms. What? Because you've trained yourself to act, not react. Stoics like Seneca knew that true strength lies in governing your inner world. When you control your emotions, you control the moment. People feel safe around you not because you're soft, but because you're solid. Your stability is a beacon in a world of emotional chaos. This anchor-like presence shifts dynamics. When you're unmoved by petty drama, others start to mirror your calm. Picture a tense dinner, everyone on edge. You listen, nod, offer a measured perspective. The mood shifts, people relax, trust you, open up. What? Because you're not adding to the storm, you're grounding it. Stoicism's focus on what's in our control gives you this power. You don't waste energy on trivial slights or fleeting arguments. When you engage, it's with purpose, and that purpose is magnetic. People crave the man who brings calm to the storm. To build this, practice selective engagement. When emotions rise, pause. Ask, is this worth my energy? Journal to understand your triggers. Meditate to sharpen your focus. Over time, you'll become the man others turn to, not because you sought it, but because you earned it. The Sigma male's charisma lies in this stability. You don't just command respect, you inspire trust. By anchoring others with your calm, you become the man they can't forget, the one they lean on when the world shakes. 7. The anti-performance. Social interactions are stages, and most men are actors reading scripts they didn't write. They laugh too hard, agree too quickly, charm too desperately. You refuse the role. The Sigma male doesn't perform. No fake smiles, no forced enthusiasm, no borrowed personas. Stoicism teaches us to live in alignment with our true nature, not to bend for applause. Your authenticity is your edge. When you speak, it's real. When you listen, it's genuine. In a world of facades, that realness is a rare and magnetic force. This refusal to perform rattles the insecure. They're used to predictable scripts, small talk, flattery, posturing. You break that mold. Imagine a networking event, everyone swapping business cards and fake laughs. You're present but unscripted, asking real questions, giving real answers. Some call you intense, even awkward. Let them. Their discomfort is their issue, not yours. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius remind us to focus on our own virtue, not others' opinions. Your authenticity isn't for everyone, but those who value substance over show will be drawn to it like a flame. This anti-performance builds trust. When you don't play the game, people know where they stand with you. Picture a friend asking for advice. Most would sugarcoat or dodge to avoid conflict. You give the truth, clear and unfiltered. They might not like it, but they'll respect it. What? Because you're not selling a version of yourself. You're the real thing. Stoicism's emphasis on integrity over popularity gives you this power. You don't need to be everyone's friend, you need to be a man worth knowing. Those who seek depth will find you. To cultivate this, stop caring about being liked. Say what you mean even if it's blunt. Walk away from conversations that demand pretense. Surround yourself with people who value truth over comfort. The Sigma male's charisma lies in being undeniably real. Over time, your refusal to perform becomes a statement, a signal that you live on your terms. In a world of actors, that authenticity is the ultimate performance, one no one can replicate. 8. The calculated ambiguity. Most men rush to define themselves, their politics, their beliefs, their identity, as if clarity equals strength. You leave room for mystery. Not because you're unsure, but because you know labels are traps. The Sigma male thrives in ambiguity, letting others guess while staying free. Stoicism teaches us to avoid being pinned down by external expectations. By keeping parts of yourself undefined, you hold the power. People project, assume, debate who you are, and that keeps them invested. This ambiguity is strategic, not indecision. Picture a heated argument where everyone's shouting their stance. You listen, nod, offer a vague but thoughtful comment. They push for your opinion, but you deflect, keeping your cards close. They're frustrated, but they're also fascinated. What? Because you've refused to be boxed in. Stoics like Epictetus knew that true freedom lies in controlling what you reveal. By staying undefined, you stay unpredictable, adaptable, impossible to manipulate. That fluidity is your leverage. This approach creates a dynamic pull. When you don't broadcast your every thought, people work harder to understand you. Imagine a coworker trying to pin down your stance on a project. You ask questions, offer insights, let them draw conclusions. They'll assume you're on their side or against it or something else entirely. Either way, they're thinking about you. Stoicism's focus on inner clarity over external validation gives you this power. You don't need to shout your truth, you live it and let others wrestle with the mystery. That wrestling keeps you in their minds. To master this, practice holding back. When asked for your opinion, give just enough to spark curiosity, not enough to close the book. Redirect conversations to keep the focus off you. Let silence and subtle gestures do the talking. The Sigma male knows ambiguity isn't weakness, it's control. By staying undefined, you stay free, and that freedom is magnetic. People will chase the man they can't quite figure out, and in that chase you've already won. 9. The selective intensity. Most men are binary, either always on, draining themselves with relentless energy, or completely disengaged, fading into the background. You choose when to ignite. The Sigma male's intensity is a weapon deployed with precision. One moment you're reserved, almost invisible. The next, you lock in with a focus so sharp it feels like a physical force. Stoicism teaches us to conserve energy for what matters. That contrast, calm detachment followed by piercing engagement, is what makes you unforgettable. This intensity is calculated, not random. Picture a meeting where everyone's talking over each other. You stay quiet, observing, letting the noise play out. Then when the moment's right, you speak, clear, direct, unyielding. The room stops. Why? Because your intensity is rare, a resource you don't waste. Stoics like Seneca understood the power of restraint. By saving your energy for key moments, you make every action count. When you engage, it's not just participation, it's impact. People feel it, remember it, respect it. This approach creates a hypnotic rhythm. People get used to your reserve, so when you turn on that intensity, it hits like a lightning bolt. Imagine a friend venting about a problem. You listen, calm, unattached. Then, with a single, focused question or piece of advice, you shift their perspective. They're stunned not just by what you said, but by how you said it. Stoicism's emphasis on acting with purpose gives you this edge. You don't scatter your energy, you channel it, and that channeled force is what makes you magnetic. To build this, practice timing. Hold back until the moment demands your full presence. Train yourself to recognize when your input will matter most. Meditate to sharpen your focus so when you engage it's with laser-like clarity. The Sigma male's charisma lies in this balance. Restraint that builds anticipation, intensity that delivers impact. By choosing when to shine, you ensure your light is never dimmed. When you step into that spotlight, no one can look away. 10. The unspoken hierarchy. Every group has a pecking order, but it's rarely what it seems. The loudest person might think they're in charge, but you know better. The Sigma male doesn't fight for status or play the social game, he exists outside it. Your power comes from opting out, from refusing to compete in a system built on ego. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own virtue, not external rank. By living on your terms, you create a hierarchy of one, where you answer only to yourself. This refusal to play along shifts the dynamic. Picture a group planning an event, everyone jockeying for control. You don't argue or push, you state your position then step back. At first they test you, prod you, try to pull you in. You don't budge. Over time they start deferring to you not because you demanded it but because your detachment commands it. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius knew that true authority comes from self-mastery, not domination. Your refusal to chase status makes you the one others look to. This unspoken hierarchy isn't about lording over others, it's about transcending their games. When you don't need validation, you become a force they can't ignore. Imagine a workplace obsessed with titles and recognition. You focus on your work, your growth, your code. Slowly, people seek your input, respect your perspective, even if they don't understand why. Stoicism's call to live virtuously, regardless of reward, gives you this power. You don't need a crown to lead, you lead by existing above the fray. To cultivate this, stop chasing status. Let others fight for the spotlight while you focus on your purpose. When tested, don't react, respond with calm certainty. Over time, people will see you as a leader not because you claimed it but because you earned it. The Sigma male's charisma lies in this paradox. By refusing to compete, you win. And in that victory you redefine what power means. 11. The invisible exit. Most men linger too long, in conversations, relationships, spaces that no longer serve them. They fear leaving will make them irrelevant. You know when to walk away. The Sigma male's power lies in the invisible exit. No fanfare, no explanations, just a quiet departure when the energy shifts. Stoicism teaches us to let go of what doesn't matter, to focus on what aligns with our purpose. By leaving on your terms, you preserve your strength and keep others guessing. This exit isn't about running, it's about control. Picture a party where the vibe sours, egos flare, conversations drag. Most men stay trapped by obligation or fear of missing out. You slip out, unnoticed, already moving towards something that matters more. Later, people realize you're gone and wonder why. That wonder is your power. Stoics like Epictetus remind us that we control our choices, not others' reactions. By leaving quietly, you ensure your presence was felt, and your absence is felt even more. This approach creates a lasting impression. When you don't overstay, your time becomes valuable. Imagine a friend group expecting you at every hangout. You show up, engage fully, then vanish when the moment's right. They don't resent you, they miss you. Why? Because your presence is a privilege, not a given. Stoicism's emphasis on detachment gives you this clarity. You don't need to cling to any space or person. Your value lies in your freedom, and that freedom is what makes you magnetic. To master this, practice leaving early. End conversations on a high note. Walk away from relationships that no longer align with your growth. Go silent on social media when others expect noise. The Sigma male's charisma isn't in staying, it's in leaving with purpose. By exiting invisibly, you ensure your presence lingers long after you're gone. That's the kind of power that no one can replicate. Here at the Sigma male community, we don't just talk about charisma. We uncover it, sharpen it, and hand you the tools to wield it. You're not here to mimic the crowd or chase fleeting applause. You're here to master yourself, to live with the kind of strength and purpose that Stoicism demands. These 11 traits aren't just ideas, they're your blueprint for a life of quiet power, unshakable confidence, and effortless magnetism. Take them, apply them, and watch how the world bends to your presence. Don't just watch, act. Hit that like button to fuel this movement, drop a comment with your thoughts or experiences, and share this video with a brother who needs to unlock his Sigma charisma. If you're subscribed, smash that notification bell to stay locked into the Sigma male community, your home for growth, resilience, and unrelenting excellence. Your path is yours alone. Keep forging it, and we'll see you in the next one.